Hey there, Internet. Keeve here, and welcome to the Cars and Keeve YouTube channel. And in this video, we're going over the third attempt by Big Boi on their Washr Pro in North America. Now, if you don't know about the previous models, the very first one that came out about 1 year ago this time, it had a hum issue with me and many other customers because it was a 15 amp unit, but in the United States, our voltage runs all over the place. And mine runs between 115 and 118. Some people are less, some people are more. The more voltage you have, the better it's gonna run and the less amp draw you're gonna have. Now, I did the second version and it wasn't as bad as the first version, but I still had some humming issues. You know, obviously they got a much beefier cable and a much shorter cable. This one's about like 15 feet and it's 12 AWG rated for that 20 amp. The capacitor is sized differently. That extra amp just allows that motor to get moving a little bit better. And I have tried for 2 straight days to get it to hum, and I have not been able to get it to hum at all. So I think they got it. Hopefully it doesn't happen in the testing today. I paid $800 for this, but I used a July 4th discount code at the time, it's 10% off. So I got it for $720, but then shipping pushed it right back up towards the $800 mark. Tariffs and stuff have obviously contributed to the increase in price. It's just the nature of the beast. Same thing happened to the AR, it got bumped up, and you know, probably others will as well. They had already said that this probably won't work with most generators. This is the way the unit is. It has not changed. You have a warning label on your unloader valve that basically says, do not touch this movable object that they don't want you to move. It just sounds like a recipe for me to want to do something dumb, right? On the input, you have garden hose thread already built in. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to change anything. They do have a brass quick connect here. That's a Gardena style quick connect, just like that. Very common throughout the world. On the output side, the other ones have brass. This looks like stainless, and it's already got the 3/8 female quick connect. Back here in the back, just like many others, there's a warning label to make sure that you replace this oil cap right here because it is not breathable. It is only meant for shipping. I give you a little plastic baggie here, and in that plastic baggie is one of these. It says right here that you can either put 10W30 or 15W40 non-detergent 500 milliliters. So this would go just like this. Now you have a really nice oil sight glass on the side, so you can see, basically start looking to see if it's starting to look milky. If it starts to look milky in there, then it's time to change it. When you want to change it, there is your drain plug right there. In here, they come with 3.7s. Another set of nozzles in here. These are 4.2s. They give you instructions, don't care. Now, their big claim to fame is how quiet it is under full operation because the 4-pole motor is lower RPM. It does not scream quite like others. Big old triplex pump. They say they claim under 80 dB. What they state on their website, they can do 1200 PSI at exactly 2.0 GPM, which is pretty good compared to a 2.28 or 2.30 on the AR630. And they're both 20 amp circuits. So this doesn't have that advantage anymore of being a 15 amp circuit unit to compete with that. But $800 versus $950, you got to make your choice. Or you could just wait for all the other pressure washers that are coming out. I will have a discount code in the description below. I have no clue what it is for because I used it before on another purchase and it said you've already used this, so it didn't even give me how much it was off. There is a link below as well to follow to get that. Obviously, I get a commission as well for that. Hopefully, it helps pay for the $800 that I spent on it. It came with something to let me drop. It came with the their foam cannon here. Now, this foam cannon does a straight stream. It does a horizontal and a vertical. There is no adjustment at all. Now on the inside, they do have instructions for how to use this and what to do. I don't care. It does have a flexible tube, does have a weighted ball. The connection's good. It is going to leak. I see the hole right there. I do like the top knob here. It's very easy to turn, more elongated and upward rather than having those little knife edges that some of these have. It is a very Chemical Guys torque style manifold here. There we go. That is a 0.052. So you take the 0.052 and times it by 25.4 is a 1.32. We'll also use our Raincovo with it on a 1.25. just to see what kind of amperage we get out of it. Well, that's the overview. Before we get any further, check the links below for anything in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's have some fun testing. All right, now that we are in the questionable side of the garage, We have the unit here on our table. Now, one big thing I want to point out about this electrical cable, it's 15, 16 feet and 12 AWG. It is not a 20 amp plug, which I love because my amp meter is a 15 amp plug, which means whenever I have a 20 amp machine with a 20 amp plug, I have to convert it in order for my amp meter to be able to give me the reading that I'm looking for. I'm using my Ely Quick Connects, all the flow. But I just love their sprayer itself. I have a quick connect at the end because this is garden hose thread, so I can put the quick connects on there. Use my shutoff valve at the unit, but also have my quick connect right here. Then I have my Fixed Fans retractable hose reel here with my Blue Shield Kevlar hose. At the end of that hose is my 22 Luck gun. I love this gun, this swivel, but we can turn the water on, check for leaks. This one's screwed in, just hand tight. I didn't even really try that hard. I have a meter here on the wall. It's always 3 to 5% below what the bucket test is. So I always use this in my initial testings to kind of figure what we're gonna do. And then we'll do the bucket test to verify. We'll put our nozzle on. Let's try the 3.7 first. All right, so we're gonna purge water, turn on. You know how satisfying that is for me after all I've went through with the other two versions that this actually works. Now, as a consumer, would I have went to the third try? No, I wouldn't have. I would have went on to something else by this third try. So we're 1280 PSI, 17.25 amps, and 1.87 gallons per minute. Since we have a 3.7, I really don't necessarily think we have to try a 3.5, a 3.0. Will it still be under 20 amps? What is this PSI gonna be? Let's find out. So 1370 PSI. The amps didn't go up much. It went to 17.7 amps. And then on the wall is 1.66 gallons per minute. Let's just go to their 4.2 stock, because if they're giving you these custom sizes, these might be the nozzles you want to go to, unless you want to use a nozzle guard or something like that. All right, 4.2. What kind of gallons per minute do we gain and what kind of PSI do we drop? So 1,000 PSI, well, 995. 990, make it 1,000. It was 14.6 amp draw, and on the wall was 1.94 gallons per minute. So 5.0. Now, I don't know what the physical limitation is with this pump and everything. If there's a smart board in here, induction motors can be quirky. The 5.0 dropped to 700 PSI, and it was 12.6 amps, which is a nice low amp, but it was only 1.99 gallons per minute, and the other one was 1.94 at 1,000. So that's quite a significant difference of PSI for a little bit of increase in gallons per minute. 4.5. This could be the one. 800-ish PSI. We'll see. 870 PSI, 13.4 amps. And the meter was bouncing between 1.96 and 1.99. So basically kind of the same gallons per minute as the 5.0. We'll have to do the bucket test to make sure. Since we're here, we might as well measure the decibels. I have the hood next to me, so that way I can put the gun behind it to kind of block that decibel sound from this. This is 85 decibels near this. And what's going to be closer to your ear when you're using it? This is. That's not going to be. I'm just going to pick up right here. It's about 84.5 decibels with that. Now, if I hide this back here, all right, let's see how much it is close to it. And see, it's 79 there and 79 here as you get closer to this. But if you read it kind of in the middle, 77. So I'm gonna do is hook up the AR630 version 2 really quick just to get a decibel reading of that one. It is up here on this metal shelf, reverbing. All right, we're purging the water. Turn that on. Yeah, we're about 76 decibels. A different sound. I like that sound, but and they're not that far off. They're pretty close. So let's try the Kiev nozzle. It's a 1/4 inch shower nozzle. I did not coin that phrase. but basically you can run it with your unit off or sometimes with it on and the water flowing through it because it was 2.4 earlier, and get a pretty steady, nice little rinsing stream that doesn't have a lot of pressure. A lot of people love this for wheels and tires. But we're getting a really good stream. You can see the cone. We're still getting impact in the center. So the key nozzle works really well with this one because it's outputting a lot of water while it's off. Let's turn it on. Wow. Not having that hum is kind of a weird feeling. Before I was able to replicate a hum by doing this. No hum. Third time's a charm. Plenty of water for the rinse, but we also have some pop to it. So usually if you go up to gain gallons per minute, you lose PSI. I sometimes like to go towards a 25 degree because we're losing that PSI, but we're bringing that fan in to a narrower amount and we're getting more impact. So here's a 4.2. And are you really going to feel a difference? Let's find out. Oh, wait, it's got a pop though. Do you see that? See, it wasn't as bad, but when it sits, pop. Now I can tell that there's definitely more water there because it's sheeting a little more than beating. Like the panel's getting a little overwhelmed more than it was before. So let's see what the 5.0 feels like. A lot of people like lower pressure, even though the gallons per minute may not be up as much. They just don't like as much blowback and the mist that the higher pressure gives you. So let's see. So it's foam cannon time. We're going to fill it up with Incredible Suds 32-to-1. Incredible Suds by DIY Detail. Great cleaning soap. It's not pH neutral. It's about 8.5. Weighted ball and the straw are perfectly cut. Code Cars with Keith will save you 10% at the House of Rags or DIY Detail to get some Incredible Suds. The one problem with Incredible Suds, it's very thick. So I pre-diluted 32-to-1 in one of these. And that way I can pour out only what I need for the testing. So I'm gonna check the amp draw on it real quick. 16.5 amps on a 1.32. I got a feeling we're gonna be able to run a 1.25 on the Rain Kovo and still be 18 or under. Like I said, it is going to leak. There's a big hole there with nothing stopping it. The knob is all the way to the right. All right, so we're gonna start out with jet. Okay, let's see what this is. Holy jeez. How's about that for a foam party? It has a bit of a delay, so it's not as fun like rapid fire. I would definitely really not be using that. So this is horizontal, which I would normally never use. That's some nice thick stuff. Do you need the 1.25? No, you don't. Decently wide stream, not crazy wide. I prefer about this size. So for me, not having that adjustment's a big deal. Vertical. Probably one of the better foam cannons that come with a product. I just don't like that I'm stuck and pigeonholed to what spray pattern they want me to have. I want to be able to adjust it. Some people don't, and it'd be perfect for them. This is a 3.7 40-degree nozzle. Oh, lost my gun there. Plenty of flow. This is the 4.2. Oh, I mean, I can tell the difference. It may not pick up on camera, but the 4.2 to me is I would gravitate towards that versus the 3.7. So the Rain Kovo amp wise with the 1.25 installed. 17.5 amps, so we are safe. So this does have a 2-year warranty, residential, and a 1-year commercial warranty. How they regulate whether they can categorize you as commercial or not, I don't know. Maybe have a lawyer with you when you answer questions, make sure you don't incriminate yourself. So our current favorite combo, the 22 Luck gun and the Rinkovo Snow Pro. This is going to be $65 to $70 depending on the sales for a great foam cannon gun combo with that swivel that is just butter. It's butter.
Was like butter.
Like butter.
Like a big stick of butter.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I would assume 1.25 in the Big Boi is probably going to get pretty close to that. The Rinkovo does foam a little bit better because it's an MJJC style manifold, but it just works really well, and I can adjust to this. That's the spray pattern that I tend to want to use. It allows me to almost like I'm painting the car. So here's the 4.5. Working good. And this is the 5.0. We do 3 empty drops, 3 full drops. You get the key seal of approval for durability if you survive all that. Beyond that, I usually just try to see how strong it is. 3 drops. Usually everything survives the empty drops except an MJJC V3. Suppose we have a new bottle coming. We'll see. We'll see. I guarantee they won't send me one. I'll have to buy it. So you can see there's a scratch there when it kind of fell and hit its side. On the bottom, we got some dents that we were able to pop out. Does it break or does it survive? That was loud. So definitely not as strong. This bottle, it just cracked on the bottom of that very first drop. Now, does everybody drop their foam cannon? No, they don't, but it's just part of the testing to let you know that if you had it up on a shelf full of liquid and accidentally knocked it off, you have a chance of it breaking. So bucket test is just more accurate than the metering on the wall. We have a stopwatch. We run the unit for 1 minute into the bucket. The bucket is on a scale. It's tared out to 0. So the only weight that we see is the water weight. 8.34 pounds per gallon is how much water weighs. That'll give us our gallons per minute. This is a 3.7. Okay, 17.30 divided by 8.34. That is 2.07 gallons per minute. Now, I think the wall was like what? With the 3.7 was like 1.87, right? So significantly different with the bucket. That does mean though, from a bucket perspective, we did kind of meet their 1200 at 2 gallons per minute. Actually a little more. 4.2 nozzle. Can we get a good increase here? $18.02 divided by 8.34, 2.16 gallons per minute. So you're at 1,000 at 2.16. Not bad, not bad. AR630 V2 at 1,000, we're in the 225 range, 228 or so. So I have the 4.5 nozzle in here. It's obviously a slight increase over the 4.2 that they had, but we'll see here. So as we saw earlier, when we went to the 4.2 to the 4.5 and the 5.0, it didn't seem like we were picking up any gallons per minute, like minuscule amounts. We actually didn't pick up much at all. It was 18.05, 2.164. So an incremental amount. Let's just do the 5.0 just to see if it's incremental again. If not, I mean, you just might as well stick to the 4.2 they have or the 3.7. You can go back and forth, choose between the two, and you already got your 2 dialed in nozzles, really. Okay, 5.0, do your thing. I mean, we got another incremental increase, 18.24 divided by 8.34 is 2.187. So we're at 2.19 versus the 2.165. So we gained 0.02, but you dropped what, 165, 170 PSI to do that. Not sure it's worth it. It is slightly more performance than I got off of the first two versions. I wish this was the first version. I really do. I still have the past of the other two going through my brain. Like, you know, this should have been the first one. I'm telling you, should have done better research before launching the product in the United States on the 15 amp. You learned your lesson, right? And that's what sometimes happens in business. You learn your lesson, you make improvements, you come out with a better version, and you learn. You know, probably lost some money in that process as well. But maybe next time when you launch a product, find out what's going on, you know, first with some test devices. You would have saved yourself a lot of problems. But, you know, that was in the past. This is the future. You can't really change the past. There you go. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to check the links below for anything in the video, and I'll see you in the next video. And welcome to the Cars and Keep YouTube. Then I have my fixed fans. Then I have my fixed fans hose reel here. Then I have my fixed fans retractable. Oh my gosh. The pop. Sometimes you'll learn. Do that first, you dummy. Old Slabby over here is feeling like he's accomplished something today.